Hello, hello. Welcome back, Power Sisters. Dr. Anita here. Welcome to the gathering. As we start day two for another round of amazing conversations that we'll be having with some more power success. I'm sorry, these today, I think, is all of our Power Circle leaders. And you'll have an opportunity, like I said earlier, to meet the executive team, and then we're going to close out today. So I am honored and so excited to introduce you to one of our Power Circle leaders, Christine oh, good Lord.
Catiggio.
Catiggio. See, I said Catiggio earlier. Sorry. Catiggio. So forgive me. Thank God my name is easy. My own name.
You wouldn't be the first.
Well, thank you for your love and your grace, and I appreciate that a great deal. I admit, I've never been good with names. So surprised I know my own name. My family calls me AJ. Right. All right. So she's going to be leading Ignite Your Potential, Unleash Your Power from Within. And she is here because you've met her yesterday. You got a chance to hear her heart. You got a chance to hear her story, or at least her wisdom. I'll say it that way, her wisdom, her expertise. Now we're going to go into her story. We're going to hear more about who she is, how she got to where she is today, and why she is so focused on helping women connect to that unique, untapped potential that all of us have, and how to break the limitations that hold us back from showing up. So, Christine, thank you so much for being here and being a powerful leader within the place.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm honored. So my first question to you is go a little bit deeper into who you are, how you show up in the world, and kind of the journey of what got you to where you are today, that you're doing what you're doing in helping women around the world.
Well, to start, I'm a life transition coach, and I have been for 20 plus years. And I'm a midlife redesign mentor. So a big part of what I do is help people going through career, retirement, or whatever major life transitions that they're dealing with, help them redesign their life and create the life that they're really meant to be in. And I started out many years ago. Actually, in business, I started with a senior concierge service. And and then I ended up joining the healthcare arena, had my own healthcare agency, and went into care management and went through all of those stages, which was really very heartwarming. But then it reached a point when my own mom was sick and one of my longtime clients passed, and it started giving me a bug to do something different. I wasn't comfortable dealing with all of that at that point. And so a networker, a huge networker back in the day, as you well know, okay, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes.
And I started attending more and more women's events and women's groups, and I just felt that calling. And then I had a huge awakening in the middle of the night. I had a download, and I didn't know what to do with it. It came out of nowhere, and you know how those things happen. And I kept hearing rise, rise, rise. And I'm like, what is rise? So I jumped awake, started pouring through the phone, trying to look up different acronyms and whatever. And before I had a chance to put my finger on anything, I heard clear as day, reclaim inner soul energy.
Ooh, that's good.
And it was powerful. And I'm like, that's it. So I started my own women's group, and the group was Women of Rise. And
like that.
And a part of that, trying to figure out where that all came from. I had gone through a difficult divorce. I was going through a challenging time in my life. I had some family loss as well. And I realized that there was something bigger calling me. There was something else I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And so I was praying on it. And so that prayer was answered at that middle of the night calling. And so I had my women's community for a number of years. And what really brought it about, I think, was my own personal need to get to the bottom of who I was. Because before I got divorced, as most women, I was helping everyone else, doing everything to satisfy everyone else, and wasn't taking care of me. And so it became this mission of mine to figure out who I was, why I was here, what I was meant to do. And so, in getting that calling and starting my women's community, it was really about helping other women going through their transitions, helping them realize they weren't alone, and that there was someone out there who could help guide them through that process. And so, through the years since then, I've basically been following my own personal transitions in the circles that I work with and who I really am called to work with. And so right now I do a lot of work with people who are going through career changes or challenges, and so much that's happened since 2020.
Right.
And just helping people figure out, how do I get through this transition? How do I figure out who I am and where is my place in the world? So when the place came about, I'm like, that's my place.
I love it. Like, see, it's already happening. You know what? I really, really love what you're talking about, specifically because for those of you who may not know, Power Her Success Alliance started off as, and is, it's still to this day, is a personal professional seminar training consultant agency. So we've been literally working with and building partnerships with major corporations, like actual names that you would know, of brands that we had either personal connections with. We knew someone within the company who knew someone within the company to open up those doors for us to begin to provide services. And there are lots of changes taking place right now in the corporate arena. And I remember when the pandemic started, I was I was a corporate trainer for another company, and my boss had kind of elevated me from corporate trainer to an executive position within the company. So I moved up the ranks very quickly. And he had me attend a meeting that were these major leaders and women at multiple major corporations. So Chipotle, CVS, what was the other company? What's that drink? Red Bull. Red Bull. She was there. Chipotle, CVS, Red Bull, Walmart, and there was another woman. These were all VPs or directors or executives having this conversation about what's happening to women at the corporate level. And what I heard confirmed what I was already getting my download for at night. God was already talking to me about serving corporate women. And of course, I thought it meant going back to work. And he's like, that's not what I said. I said, serve corporate women. So the door opened and it closed, but we're still building it and having these conversations. And the reason why I'm bringing this forward is because it aligns so much with what you're saying. So behind the scenes, we are in conversation right now with two major corporations who have said yes to us in providing services to them. And that's another reason why the place got developed. I wanted to have a safe, sacred place for corporate women and corporate men, because we're doing that for men as well through the Leading Man Institute, to have a place where they can focus on personal development. Because 9 times out of 10, once you get into the corporate world, you get so sucked up in that your own personal development kind of takes a back seat, because you're just going to work. Those of you who've worked and you've been in the corporate environment, or you've worked for someone else, you go to work, you come home, and you live the best way that you can. The other personal development doesn't really kick in. And then when the pandemic hit, there was such a huge transition that everyone was going through, not knowing what to do, that they didn't have that kind of resource or support. 2 of the companies that we're beginning conversations with have just laid off a huge amount of people. So we're kind of coming in and saying, let us offer this kind of support. This is what can be very powerful for you and for your people, and for the ones you've made redundant, which basically mean they've been laid off, and the others who are still there. This is the kind of service that you want. So there's conversation, and we're believing more women are going to be joining the place for that. And so this conversation about, gosh, now your life has changed, And you're needing to actually focus more so now than ever before on your mindset, on your behaviors, on your finances. You need to make wiser decisions because it has been changed. And this may be the opportunity to go to a whole nother level that you never even thought was possible. And so that's why I was so excited about you having a group and your expertise, because this is so needed right now more than ever before. And trust me, everybody, if you're a coaches and you're not building this into your business, there are more companies. SHRM, which stands for Society of Human Resources, is the largest association for all human resource representatives in the United States. So every single person who is a human resource employee has to go through that. It's required, right? And so they are already having conversations that some major corporations are going to be laying off more people. So if there's ever a time to really elevate yourself and your brand, your message as a coach to provide services to them, you need to know how to do it the right way, because there's a lot of steps to it. It's not just some easy, here, I offer this, hire me. They don't do that. Sorry, we'd like it to work that way, but that's not how it works.
Wish it was that easy.
I wish it is not that. You're laughing because it is not that easy. There are hoops you got to jump through, and sometimes it takes a long time because corporate's really slow. But once you're in, the magnetism of what happens there, the momentum, huge. It just skyrockets, takes off. And then once one company or two companies, become your employees or your partners, customers, the doors just fly open, and the rest of it becomes pretty easy. It's just that first initial set. So right now, I'm saying all this to say, a lot of people are going to go through another level of transitioning, and they're not sure where to go. They don't have the resources, or, well, not the resources, but the resources in a sense of not knowing where to go to actually support them in this journey.
And that's so true. And that's why the igniting potential is so huge. And it's why I'm so passionate about it, is because we all have an unlimited amount of potential that we don't recognize. And being able to bring that forward opens doors. Even when working with people in the retirement arena, they're like, what do I do with myself? I have all this time on my hands. Well, first of all, you have the gift of longevity if you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And now it's a question of, what have you done? Where did you get your wisdom and experience? Let's bring that to the table. Let's bring it to the surface and see what you can create for yourself, because the possibilities are endless. I used to tell this to my clients post-COVID. The rule books went out the window.
Absolutely.
So anything you try, anything that you put out there is acceptable. It's really just, offering what you think people need at this stage. And that's why, this is so valuable, what you're offering with the gathering and the place. And it really is us really utilizing the gifts that we have. I mentioned this a little bit yesterday about, understanding what our spiritual gifts are. What do we bring to the table? And most of us don't recognize that, because we've been through, especially in the corporate arena, we've been through this process of, this is what I do, and that's all I know. Well, no, there's a lot more there.
Yes.
It's so much deeper.
Yes. So this just listening to you makes me all giddy, because I know the power, especially right now, because we're in conversation with a major corporation that had to let go a huge amount of people. And that conversation came up, like, what do we do with these people? They don't know. I'm like, I do. And it's so funny, because I think the psychologist in me go, I do. And I got a whole bunch of people who know what to do. We know exactly what to do to get you to live your best life and not let this really be a deeper setback than it needs to be. It needs to be. So, okay, let's talk about what are those dormant, because I know you talk about so many of us have this dormant capabilities inside us. So reaching your highest potential and then having dormant capabilities, they kind of sound like they're the same, but they're different in a lot of ways. Can you talk about the difference and why this is so important for a woman to tap into this, especially right now?
I can tell you firsthand experience, and this is what happened to me when I went through my divorce and went through all that as women, we have a tendency, we all do it,
Yep.
to be who we think we are supposed to be for the people in our life. And so we give up a lot of our personal values and
Mhm.
sometimes our priorities to satisfy, whether it be in a relationship or whether it be for a job or for so many reasons. We sacrifice that part of ourselves just so that we can create some existence with other people instead of that's where the reclaim inner soul energy comes from, which is why I love teaching that, is because there's a whole process to it. It's a process of understanding what's at our core. Who are we at our core when we're stripped of all the labels and kind of silo ourselves to understand who we are without all of the other frills.
Yes.
And so we do have a lot of things that we are capable of that we just don't recognize. And so being able to tap into that, I like to say, I help people, I help women see. And with the three, I write it down all the time because I have to envision it myself.
Yes.
But the S part is helping them look back on their dreams, look back on the things that they've always wanted to do that they may have set aside for all those same reasons we mentioned. And so that's, bringing those things to life, digging deep. I like to say, remind people that Walt Disney envisioned everything before he created it. Okay. And you can appreciate this because of, the way you see things.
For sure.
Definitely. And so we need to see it. We need to know what it is we really want for our life. We need to get into that core to understand what all of that is and bring out the things that have been bubbling down there. We've just neglected them.
Yes.
And so that's the S part. And then the E, I always say, is embody it. Teach people how to surround yourself with the things you like, whether it be sports, whether it be music, whatever it is, surround yourself. So languages, one of my favorite things
Travel.
was, there you go, exactly. Just dabble in anything because you never know what is going to call you or what you might have neglected through the years that you forgot about. Yes. That's when I love working with women. When I start with this process and I ask them, what did you always want to do when you were a child? And sometimes they really have to stop and think about it. But then as we peel the onion, they're like, oh, I always wanted to be a dancer, but I gave it up because my parents couldn't afford the lessons and blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't care if you're 40, 50, or 60. You can still take dance lessons, okay?
I can't tell you, I have to tell you on this one, I can't tell you how true that is because it was 2 years ago and something I definitely want to get back into. I took up belly dancing. Best exercise, so much fun. I was stupidly grinning, didn't know what I was doing, although I'm very rhythmic. But learned, over time, I learned it and really enjoyed it and realized, we as women need to start honoring ourselves again. So what's the third E?
The third E is expand your vision of what you think is possible.
Yes.
Because we have a tendency to think, well, I can't do that. I don't have enough money. I'm too old. I'm not smart enough. Expand your vision. Just, everything is limitless. It's it's out there for our taking. So we really just need to open our heart and our soul to that.
I can't tell you how much I love what you're saying. And yes, women, everyone who's listening to this live or the pre-recording the broadcast later on, play the replays, you can already see that you're going to experience so much growth and healing and development and really mastering you at the core with Christina in the place and ignite your potential, unleash your power within. And so just so that you'll know, right now I'm going to release her because after every interview, you have an opportunity to do a little bit of a meet and greet with her, get a chance to, talk to her. She gets a chance to talk to you, answer any questions that you may have, and just enjoying each other in womanhood. So it's right now, if you look below, there should have been a post that popped up. I should have said this yesterday, because a few people are asking me, like, how do I join the meet and greets? So there's a post that's already been uploaded in the community. If it's not there now, it'll be there in a couple seconds for you to click on a Zoom link so that you can actually come and meet with Christine personally and have an actual conversation with her. And you want to do that with every single one of our speakers. Christine, I am so excited you're a part of this. We've been, circling around each other for quite a while. I think I've known you about as long as I've known Sharon, right?
Oh gosh, yeah, it's at least 10 years, if not more.
Yeah, almost as close. Yeah. Did I meet you both at the same time? All of a sudden, I just had a flashback.
I don't remember.
In LA?
It's all a blur.
I think I met you both at the same time, at the same place too. I'm gonna go back in my mind. I'm like, wait a second. It's been so long. But anyways, so this is the power sisterhood. You hang around people who you like and who you stay connected to for years because there's something about them. And Christine and I have always known we're gonna work together in some sort of capacity. I don't know what it is yet.
We always knew that.
But we always knew it, right? So now it's here, we're doing it together, and lives are going to be transformed. Your life, again, you keep hearing me say this, everybody, give us 365 days of your life and it will be unrecognizable in the next year. We're going to help you elevate to a whole nother level of being the woman you were designed to be, unapologetically. So with that being said, Christine, thank you so much for your time, your energy, your effort, your spirit, your joy, your excitement, your passion. You make my cheeks hurt right now. They're kind of like stools, but I've been smiling the whole entire time. Like, you get to hang around amazing women. Boy, I want this for every woman who's like, yeah, these are the kind of women you want. These are the kind of sisters who are not going to be gossiping, who are not going to be talking behind your back. Unacceptable. Won't happen. We love you too much. We want the success of you too much. And God, source, and spirit in the universe is bringing this together so that you have this space and the place that's sacred and safe for you to be seen, to be heard, to be valued, and to be celebrated at the highest level. With that being said, Christine, thank you, ladies. Enjoy, Christine, and we will see you back here at 1 o'clock. Well, you'll have an opportunity to listen in on the conversation. It's pre-recorded between Deanna Deering and myself. She's one of our Power Circle leaders and success coaches as she talks about charting your financial independence, making that a priority for yourself in 2024. With that being said, everybody, much love. Go have some time with Christine. See you at 1 o'clock.
Thank you.
Bye,